Welcome to Local Point, your life, your stories, with your host, Chris Piner.
Welcome to Local Point. We're here to talk about the spring play from Uintah High School. This is called The Nerd, and I'm joined in the studio with two of the actors in The Nerd, and I think I'll start by having both of you just introduce yourselves. Ammon, you want to start?
Sure. I'm Ammon Weimer, and I play Axel Hammond. He is a very eccentric drama critic. He's a great character. You'll love him.
You will love him. Good. Good. A little sneak peek of who you are, too. Axel, I'll talk a little bit more about your character in just a second, too. All right, Aiden?
I'm Aiden Piner. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I am Rick Stedman in the show.
Very good. So if anybody knows the characters of The Nerd, then we have Axel and Rick. Rick is better known as...
The Nerd.
The Nerd, yes, the title of the show. So do either of you know anything about the play or the playwright?
Well, what I know about it is Larry Shue is the playwright of the show, and he only has two really big shows. This is one of them. And
what's the other one?
The Foreigner.
The Foreigner, very good. And I think it's probably the more popular of the two, so maybe some of our viewing audience has seen The Foreigner. This is his other comedy, The Nerd. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say that The Nerd, it's a funny show. It's a bunch of surprises, and it's a
lot
fun
of physical
show.
comedy, a lot of visual gags and things that you'll just look at the silliness and laugh. So this is another one of those shows for those who have been tuning in and watching me on Local Point over the years. You know that I'm also the director of the high school shows. So today is another one of those where I'll kind of interview myself and some of my actors here. But a lot of visual gags. You're going to see these guys in some situations that'll just be outrageous, ridiculous, silly, and fun. Lots of laughs in this one. Any music in this show?
No music.
Well, at the beginning of Act 2, there is a little, I forget what it says, but there's a little music.
A little record music, there's a record player involved.
He talks about that.
And there is actually a tambourine in there.
Oh, there is. So there is some music involved.
Oh, the tambourine.
A little bit of music involved, but this is not per se a musical. It's a straight play comedy, just lighthearted and silly. So tell me, Ammon, when is the play happening?
May 10th, 11th, and 12th. If you want to buy tickets, you can contact someone in the cast, or you can contact the school for more information.
That's right. That's a good way to do it. Contact the cast or the front office of the high school. If you know me, you can send me an email or contact me as well. We also have a Facebook page, Uintah High Theater, and they can check it out there. We may be doing something a little different with ticketing on this one. We're looking into some other options. So if you are interested, it would be a great idea to come ask us how we're doing it. We're not really sure as of this taping. So good. And at what time does it start, Aiden?
7. And we ask you to be in your seats about 6:30 just to get settled in.
Yeah, very good. So the house will open at 6:30. The show starts at 7. It's approximately 2 hours. Yep, with a little intermission in between. And where is this taking place?
So it's not actually in the big auditorium at the high school. It's in this place we like to call the Little Theater. It's smaller, but it's just as great as a place. Yeah,
very, very cozy setting where you're up close. There's only enough seating for about 118 people in there, so depending on the night and the reception of the play, well, it could end up being sold out, and so it'd be another good reason to get your tickets in advance if it's something you really want to see. And we think it is, right?
It's going to be great.
It's definitely.
All right. Well, just quickly, Ammon, tell me your favorite part of the play so far. You're still kind of early in the rehearsal process, but do you have a moment that you love?
probably one of two parts.
Without giving away too much.
Okay. So there's the part at the end with there's the thing with Axel, Willem, Tansy, and Rick at the very end that Waldegrave walks in on. That's one of my favorite parts. And then just after, in the first
And we
scene,
can't tell you too much about that because it's at the end.
It's
But
at the
know that
very end,
Ammon's
but
favorite
it's
part
so
is
fun.
toward the end.
It's so fun. But
There is a
also,
fun moment there. All right,
There's,
we'll keep you in
there's another
suspense.
moment that I feel is a particular Axel moment where it's just him and Tansy talking after Willem has left the room.
Very good. And in our second half, we're going to meet from the actress who's playing the role of Tansy. Aiden, what about you, real quick?
Oh, my favorite is probably just when my character is introduced to the show. And, it's kind of selfish.
You have a great entrance.
But yeah, it's a fun
yeah,
entrance.
to say the least.
Shocking and yeah, just all right fun.
These guys get to play real characters and have a lot of fun in the role. Therefore, the audience is bound to have a lot of fun as well. Well, I'm glad you both came today. Hope that you continue having a good time and we play to some nice warm audiences, right?
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk more about Uintah High School's upcoming play, The Nerd. So stay tuned.
He's a man among boys tonight. Oh, wow, that's a great fall. Just beautiful. I love the effort, the attitude. Nice finish. The littlest in stature, but the biggest in heart. Nice finish. And that's done.
Welcome back to Local Point. Before the break, we were discussing a little bit about Uintah High School's spring play, The Nerd. We got to visit with two of the cast members, and in this segment, we have two more of the cast members joining us. And before I have you introduce yourselves, which I'll do, this is not the entire cast, right? There are not just four in the cast. There are
seven.
There are seven
of us.
in the cast. It's still a very small, cozy cast, but three of our cast members are not on camera today, and that's only because we only had so many microphones and chairs to share. Otherwise, my good actors would have been thrilled to be here. Anyway, so with that, and we'll mention them as well. Let me have both of you introduce yourselves and the character you're playing. Hannah, we'll start with you.
Okay, I'm Hannah Benedicto. I'm a senior this year, and I'm playing Tansy McGinnis.
That's good. And we heard Ammon in the last segment referencing Tansy. This is who he meant. Brent.
I'm Brent Johnson. I'm a junior this year, and I get to be able to play Willem Cubbert in The Nerd.
Very good. I love this about the playwright, Larry Shue. He chooses names that are not necessarily your most common names. So Willem, not William. Tansy, we heard from Axel, and well, Rick is pretty isn't that interesting? The most ordinary name is from The Nerd in the show.
Rick Stedman.
Stedman, yeah. Well, who are our missing three cast members that our viewing audience doesn't get to see today?
We have Lexi Kearns and Jaeger Oaks, and they play Clelia Waldegrave and Warnock Waldegrave, and they're a married couple.
Ah, very good.
And we also have Thor Waldegrave, who is their son, and he's played by Ammon Smith.
And Ammon Smith is in our studio audience today. He's actually right here watching us all. We wish he could be on camera with us, but you might hear him giggling in the corner every now and then. All right, so we do have a cast of 7, and this takes place, as we said in the first segment, in Uintah High School's Little Theater, which has limited seating. So if seeing this is something you're interested in, we think it is something you'll want to see. You'll want to get tickets early, really, with only 3 performances and 118 seats per night. I'm not great at math here, but a little over 300 people will get to see this production.
And it's really special to be in the little theater
It's a really cool
Tell me
atmosphere.
Why is that?
It's just it's a fun atmosphere. It's more intimate and you're closer to the stage, so you can really see our facial expressions and pick up on smaller things that you wouldn't be able to pick up on in the normal auditorium.
That way, doesn't it?
And we haven't done a production in the little theater we didn't last year. So it's coming back, and it's real. I went and saw Barefoot in the Park, which was 2 years ago, the last one in the little theater. And that was the first one I really remember loving, being so close and seeing their acting,
having that experience, right, as an audience member, and the actors are almost this close to you,
and now being able to be in it is so cool. So I'm really happy about that.
Oh, I can't wait. Now as a director, I'm very excited for them to have the opportunity to perform in that special theater as well. Well, good. So we talked a little bit in the first segment about the play, but we didn't really get into the basis of it. Hannah, can you give me just kind of an overall summary? What's going on in this thing that creates such comedy and interest?
Yeah, so Tansy, Willem, and Axel are all really good friends. We've kind of talked about how if this was like a sitcom, would kind of be the main characters you would see every week on the sitcom. So Willem is actually an architect, and Tansy, I guess you could say they're kind of boyfriend and girlfriend. They're more than friends, but not quite.
It's never been fully developed, but they both are definitely interested.
Yeah.
You'll see that. You'll see moments.
Yeah, so Willem is working for Mr. Warnock, and the show opens with Willem throwing a birthday party for himself, and we get introduced to these characters, and as you mentioned in the first segment, Rick shows up, and Rick is actually someone that Willem knew in the Army who saved his life in Vietnam, right?
Yes.
So, and then it just how these characters interact with each other and what happens when Rick shows up.
Rick shows up, and he turns out to be a nerd, and not nerd in the modern day sense. Nerds are a little cooler than they used to be. This play takes place back in the 80s. It's set back in the 1980s, and when nerds had maybe a little different meaning than it does today. We think of it in a different sense. But he's really quite obnoxious.
Yes.
And
causes a lot of trouble.
He causes trouble, and he's irritating and off-putting.
And Willem is he's good at taking a lot. He doesn't get very upset very easy.
He's got such a patience about him.
And then Rick comes in and kind of tears that right from him. So.
And it's driven by the fact that he saved your life, right? So our time is really running short. I want to hit just a couple of the quick details again. The dates of the play.
It is going to be March 10th through the 12th.
3 performances at
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock in the Little Theater. And what do you know about tickets?
Tickets are $8, and contact one of us or the front office at the high school.
Tickets are $10.
Oh, sorry,
actually.
$10.
They're $8 for an upcoming production of Hamlet. If this airs in time, we'd love to see you at the high school, Uintah High School for Hamlet. But for this production, $10 because seating is limited. We can really only show it to so many people. So anyway, yeah, you're right. Contact cast members or the front office for that. And I know we had lots more information prepared and ready to talk about, but you guys are so interesting, and I love these guys. Yeah, that we've run out of time. So come and see the play. Come and see our stars of the play, and those who you didn't get to see today. We thank you for watching Local Point. Go like VTV6 on Facebook. We'll see you again next time.